So to our first speaker to kick off the event, I want to welcome Richard Hayes. Richard is from Rottapharm, currently employed as the Continuous Improvement and Energy Manager with Rottapharm. He has more than 28 years experience within the manufacturing sector. 15 of those are indeed within Rottapharm. Much of his experience is within the maintenance and the engineering areas. He has a degree, indeed many degrees, in engineering maintenance systems, electrical services and energy management from both the Dublin Institutes of Technology of Kevin Street and Bolton Street. Would you put your hands together for our first speaker, Richard Hayes.
Okay, sorry, good morning. And I'm from Rottapharm. Rottapharm was originally founded in 1961 by the Ravati family. It's an Italian company. In 2007, the company merged with a company called Madhouse. It became Rottapharm Madhouse. It was still a privately owned company. And just last November, the company was sold to the Meta Group, which I'm going to talk about now. Sorry. So Meta has a global presence in 120 countries. And you can see there, there's a number of employees is just over 5,000 people. And it's publicly quoted on the Swedish Stock Exchange, and it's worth 1.9 billion in annual revenues. So there's 8 manufacturing sites in the new company. There's 2 in Germany. There's 1 in France, ourselves in Dublin, 1 in Italy, there's 1 in Spain, and there's 1 in India. So the Dublin site was built in 1998. There's 171 employees, and we ship to 67 markets worldwide. And we've an active pharmaceutical ingredient plant, plus primary and secondary packaging. And our finished output for last year was 24 million. We had 1,300 batches produced and 1.8 million kilos of product processed. So these are some of our recent milestones. In 2009, we had a packaging and facility extension. And in 2010, we introduced our Tpm program, which I'm going to talk about. And 2013, we had a facility, a manufacturing facility, newly kitted out, and we started introducing new products. And then in 2014, we were taken over by the Meta Group. So just going back to 2009, our environment that we were working in, we had just completed the facility extension. And we had some competitive issues worldwide. So we had generic copies of branded materials were increasing in market share. There was delisting of products from reimbursement, and there was a reduction in the reimbursement prices. And we also had parallel imports, and these are all threatening our future. And we needed to increase cost competitiveness, and this was our burning platform at the time. So this is a slide that we use in Rottapharm a lot. Like sometimes you might be too busy in the day-to-day thing, and you're not looking, taking a step outside and seeing how can you improve things, looking for new ideas, new ways of doing things. So our maintenance in 2009, technicians spent most of our time on reactive maintenance. And there was a low percentage of maintenance activity was actually spent on improvement or corrective work. There was inadequate maintenance systems in place. So we were in this kind of cycle with miscorrective actions, preventable failures occurring, then the resources directed by those breakdowns or failures, low-cost repairs being carried out, the workload was increasing, and costs increasing, morale was declining, and standards dropping. So we were in this kind of a reactive cycle. So we recognised that we needed to break this cycle of reactive maintenance. We had a lot of new equipment after coming in after an expansion, and we knew that we couldn't go on like that. What we wanted was to improve performance, have more resources available, so more CI activities could take place, and then reduce waste and get into a virtuous cycle. So this was a vision that was set out by the senior management team in early 2010 with an aim to introduce this by 2013. So you can just see those figures. I won't go through them. So TPM was total productive maintenance, or as we call it, manufacturing. We had a maintenance survey carried out, and this was one of the things that was recommended for us to try. So we decided we would give it a go. So basis of TPM, responsibilities for equipment reliability and performance, not just with a maintenance group of people, but with operators, support people, planning. Everybody gets involved in this process. So it's a tool for helping bring about change. And the culture of a plant is aided through the use of TPM. And other tools are used in combination, like Six Sigma, process mapping, 5S, H3 problem solving. This is the TPM tool itself. This is what we use. There's 9 steps in the TPM process. You can see them there. There's about 80 hours needed to go through these steps, 80 to 100 hours. And what it does, it focuses on a piece of equipment or manufacturing area or a packaging line. And what we did, we would focus for each week, one team looking at, say, a packing line. And they would do that for 10 to 12 weeks, take 8 hours out of the day. And it's kind of classroom activity and activity based on the actual production line. And we built a structure around that as well. So you can see the facilities teams, all the small teams down the end, they're all individual teams that were formed. It took us about 4 years to get through this whole process. So we have facilitators that look after the direction of the team, and we've governing committees, implementation teams, and a steering committee. This is one of the important aspects of the TPM. It's called Frontline Operator Asset Care, where the operator takes more responsibility and it operates as the first line technician. So the operator takes the role of the first line maintenance, checks the condition of the equipment during operation, and carries out maintenance during the weekly maintenance window. And they also progress to monthly maintenance and changeover of equipment. The technician then, a lot of time is freed up through this process. He starts to think like and act like and do like an engineer. So they spend more time on the design and engineering out problems. So less work is outsourced and more knowledge and ability is developed in-house. And technicians actually feel more motivated and more valued because they're actually involved in engineering work. This is just an example of the type of stuff that our technicians are doing. So there's an auger screw feeder off a machine. Small part, costs an awful lot of money from the OEM. So the technician, one of our technicians, designed this on SolidWorks. And then he printed it out in a 3D printing machine and sized it up for operation. That's the type of stuff that we're doing. It's another example of a prototype that somebody built. So it's designed again on SolidWorks and printed out on plastic in the 3D printer. Any modifications that need to be done after the prototype is built, you can go back and design it again, and then actually get the thing manufactured once the prototype is acceptable. So technicians are an integral part of our projects teams for new products and new equipment. And a lot of our people have been developed. We've designed a new facility. Technicians are actually involved in the design and the construction. And they also manage the electrical and the mechanical installation. And there's little use of contractors and consultants. There's no external project management. This is just to give you something on the process after TPM. The teams go into a CI process where they meet every 2 hours a week, every week. And they review their production performance, their downtime analysis, problem analysis, energy management, develop solutions, and they look at the work history and prioritise jobs that need to be done. And they also train their co-workers, and they give quarterly feedback at the visual management boards. So we also introduced something into the support areas, and we call it Total Productive Administration. In September 2012, QC, QA, finance and logistics were trained. And we used process mapping to remove non-value added activities in their processes. So we developed a CI structure for the support areas as well. And we're actually reviewing that again now. In 2014, we introduced a form of TPM using the same kind of steps that we did previously, except not focusing on equipment reliability. Equipment was more on process. But it gives a more sustainable environment for the team. Sometimes event-based kind of things don't capture and keep the kind of CI structure. So another thing that we've done a lot of is technology. So we introduced a manufacturing execution system, a laboratory information management system, and paperless maintenance and an OEE system. And we've removed over 1 million wet signatures from our process reviews. So our operation and maintenance efficiency has improved in all areas. And it's the value of technology, elimination of waste, and generation of information for CI purposes. Another thing that we've done is our SharePoint is a big thing that we're using in the company for sharing information, storing documentation, using it for meeting sites. And we've lots of different things on it, like you'll see on the right-hand side, an improvement idea log where anybody can submit an idea within the company. Document trackers for storing information, training documents, storing all our training information, energy reporting, various different things. And each team also has a CI site as well that they use. So just on the paperless maintenance, we removed an awful lot of our paper from the process. So the technicians now see their inputs are direct history of reports. I put it in, unplanned maintenance, complete corrective work orders, complete routine preventive and predictive maintenance, generate work requests, raise purchase orders. And then the outputs, they can view up-to-date maintenance history. They don't have to go chasing through paperwork. They can view assigned work through each individual inbox that they're assigned through the process. They carry out spare searches. They can view maintenance manuals, SPL, single-point lessons, setup sheets, etc. So a lot of what we've done with maintenance, we've intrusive maintenance, excessive non-value PM tasks, and emergency maintenance have all been removed. We filtered them through process of TPM, CI, and reliability-centered maintenance. And we've condition-based maintenance as our outputs, frontline operator asset care checks, refurbishment and design out. So these are just some of our results from the review of that. We've removed 53% of our PMs over the last number of years. And we haven't had a negative impact. In 2011, you can see there was over 2,000 hours for PM time. That's down under 800 hours now. Our average failure rate has dropped from just 32% in 2009 down to just under 8% in 2014. Actually, I didn't get to talk much about the energy, but you can see our energy figures there. For more or less the same amount of product being produced, we've reduced from over 10 million kilowatt hours down to just 6.5 million. Our OEE is quite good for a pharmaceutical company. It was at 32% in 2010. It's now at 56%, and early this year we hit 70% for our first week of production, so it's on the rise. Our accidents, you can see them there. They were at 33 in 2010. They're down to 4 for last year, with no reportable accidents over the last 2 years. And that's our involvement of people in continuous improvement activities is about 140 for last year, out of what it was 160 people employed. That's just a summary then of our IS systems that we've introduced and our CI systems. You can see them there. I'm under time pressure, so I just have to speed on. I won't go through them. But one thing that's very important is the people aspect of all those things. You wouldn't be able to do these things without people. And that's something that we're hoping to focus on now for the future with using the Shingo model based on that leadership and behaviours and getting those behaviours right through the company. We have got good behaviours, but it's something that we feel that we can build on with principles based on the Shingo model. Not that we're going for the Shingo model, it's quite hard to obtain, as I'm sure you're aware, but that's what we're going to be basing ourselves on. So I think I'm out of time, so thank you.